right, and now
You are
we're
live.
live. Yeah, we are live in
We
FMA
are live.
discussion. That was a lag, some kind of lag, and welcome. And in uh this episode of FMA discussion, episode 106, I believe.
106. 106.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
oh, 107. This is 107.
7. Yes,
Yeah,
because there was a
107.
mix up. I'm supposed to be the 106, and
Yep.
then some sort of a mix up in the time and the schedule. So I was bumped to 107.
Yes. So this is episode
Yes.
107, and this is the
Yes.
great GM Rene of the Press's legacy, of Combatant Modern Arnis,
Yes.
um,
Yes. Thank you.
and also of ATP Abanico Tres Puntas of the legacy of uh, Grandmaster Mateo D. Estilioso. And that is actually what we want to talk about first in our agenda that I'm supposed to, you can't see it, but
Yes.
I would want to go over like your year by year learning with Mateo D. Estilioso. If we can start with that. You
Yes.
went to
Yes.
Mapua, right? Let me ask. You went to Mapua? Did you go to engineering?
No, I went to Adamson University.
You went to Adamson.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. That's where I took up my industrial engineering, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. Yes.
Yeah. So you're like the guy who took care of me that I talked about last night. My dad's
Mm.
uncle. So go over your year by year learning with him. Let's start with that.
Well, actually, I started going back. I started with the Presas, uh, family in 1967. I cannot really fix the day, but it was something like that. 1967, the summer. So I was barely about 9 years old, I think. So I started at the backyard of the Presas family. My first teacher is Roberto. Yes, the youngest of the Presas brothers. And my first lesson basically is Abanico Espada y Daga Palis. So Palis Palis, yes, Palis
Yeah, yeah,
Palis. Well, Palis Palis, yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we don't have gyms there. Yeah, we're just under the trees, under the coconut trees. Wherever the sun is, we just reorient our positions, our places. So from there, I it's classical system, traditional. Yes, Espada y Daga, and it's very related to the style of the father of the Presas brothers, Jose Presas, Jose Bonco Presas of Hinigaran. And then from there, after few years, in 1974, I went to Manila after graduation from high school. I went to Manila to pursue my education at the university. So that is where I joined again Ernesto. Yes, in Quiapo, Manila. They call it the Arjuken, Arnis Judo Kendo Karate Association. So it's in Quiapo district. And then from there, you know, I was immersed more with modern Anis. That time there's no combatant. There's no combatant. It was only modern Anis. And then the association is Modern Anis Association of the Philippines. And the umbrella organization is Arjuken that time. And then Philippine Kendo Association, where Ernesto is the founding chairman of Philippine Kendo. So I also took
Hmm.
Kendo. I took Kendo.
You took
Uh,
kendo, so you
yes.
know the Japanese tactics very well.
Well, a little bit because I trained Kendo, yes, for a long time. But as I go along, my heart is still with the Filipino martial arts. But there's no Filipino martial art all the time. We just call it Arnis, Baston, whatever. Uh,
Hmm.
so we call it more Baston. When among Ilonggos, every time we talk, it's always Baston. So from there, in Manila, I stayed with Ernesto. So from school in the morning, I would go to the Luneta because it's
Mm-hmm.
not too far from our place, or I will cross the street from where I stay. It's the University of Santo Tomas. Yes,
That's
UST.
where my exactly. That's where my parents went.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will go there. Yeah.
We'll go there. Yeah.
I would go around there and slow jog every day, rain or shine. So there's a football field there. I will go there, and then I will do some shadow boxing slowly, and then pick up the sticks and do some movement. Because that time I am very particular about forms. Yes, ever since, ever since. Because I like traditional movements. Yes, classical movements. So that time, and then I stayed with Ernesto, and from there I was able to learn a lot of things, weaponries. I learned how, because of kendo. So I did a few of katana. Yes, aido. Yes, little aido. Yes. And then uh, I was trained to teach under Ernesto. Yes, I was assistant instructor during the time. He was teaching at the Lyceum University, Lyceum College yet, and then University of Santo Tomas, University of the Philippines, uh, the Philippine Air Force, Philippine National Police, all of this. So all of these training schools or classes, I am always there. So one of them is UST, where your father graduated. Yes, I cannot remember fully his face or whatever, but I'm sure he will remember me. Yes,
Yeah, because it
and that
was. He said it was you, Ernie, and I think Mambitulay. I think, if I'm
yes,
not
you're right.
mistaken.
Yes, yes. I carry the bag of Ernesto anywhere he goes. Yes, I am his well, Friday man. Yes, I'm his man Friday. Yes, something like that. So anything that he wants. Oh, Tongs, he called me Tongs. Yes, Tongson. Yes, Tongs. You do this, you go there, and so on. So in short, I stayed with Ernesto for about maybe 25, 26, 27 years. I cannot really figure out. And then in the middle, along the time, I was told by Ernesto, oh, my friend Mateo, Tatay Mating, Tatay Teong, we call Tatay Teong, will pass by. He has a very good classical system. He told me. He said the Tres Puntas is very nice. You study under him. Yeah. So I'm not interested because I'm into modern Arnis. Yeah, I was immersed into that. And then here comes the old man. Every Thursday he comes there. He goes there because he goes to Quiapo Church every Thursday and Friday. So he'd pass by the gym, and from there I was able to meet the old man. And then Ernesto said, "You study under Lolo Mating." So I asked the old man, "Will you accept me as your student?" He says, "Hey, come on, just come on." So we trained in the gym of Ernesto for two or three sessions. On the fourth, he said, "Come to my house." I said, "All right." He accepted me now. It's good. So I went to his house. It's in Novaliches in Quezon City. I have a motorbike. So no traffic and everything during the time. So from school, I will go straight to his house. Yes. And that time it's somewhere like about 1981, something like that. I think 81. So I started with him, 1981, if I remember right. Every day I train. Yes. And that is where I was immersed into Abanico Tres Puntas. According to him, he has two teachers. Yes. The other one is Abanico style, and the other
Mm-hmm.
one is Tres Puntas. That's why he call it Abanico Tres Puntas. Abanico Tres Puntas is only is abanico is a traditional system. Yes, it's a classical system and very common in the Visayas. Yes, and tres puntas is only one of those abanicos, only one of those styles. So maraming abanico. There's lots. We have abanico de cuerdas, la punti de abanico, and so on. They have lots. Abanico de tuchada, and some other small organizations and or small styles. They call themselves abanico. And tres puntas is only one of them. Yes. So during those times, I was immersed into that, and I started to really love it because basically I am more into I like traditional things. Yes, even my music. Yes, I like Philippine music, kundiman. I like
Yeah, you and I
yes.
share that love for it.
You
Diomedes
remember?
Maturan,
Yes,
Ruben Tagalog. Yeah,
yes, yes. I know the names.
yeah,
I know the names.
yeah. I grew
Some
up with
some
that.
some. Oh yeah,
I
yes.
grew up.
Even
Yeah.
until today, when the Philharmonic is playing, I will stop. I will always pause and I will listen.
A
Yes,
lot of people don't
because
know with a name like that. He's actually Ilongo. I think both of them are.
I think so. Jumelis Maturan. Anyway,
Yeah. No, Ruben
anyway, so
Tagalog
that
too. I think was born in.
I think
Pan.
so. I think
Yeah.
so. He's from Panay.
Yeah.
He's from Panay. Yes. So from there, I continued my studies under Grandmaster Estelioso. And in 1990 or 91, we went to the United States. We were invited. Suddenly, oh, it's a funny. Uh, this is funny story because in the gym of Ernesto, and the other side are all karate people. Yes. So they train there and they bang the bags, the makiwara. It's funny. And on the other side, I am doing in the mirror, I'm doing my forms, yeah, trying to perfect my form and so on. And they will tell me, Toms, look at this. They will kick the bag, bang. They said, you see? Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. And then again, every day, so they will make fun of me because I'm the youngest during that time among people inside. And then one day, uh,
Oh, it cut off.
I can
No,
hear
no, no.
you.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day.
The one day there's a letter from the Ministry of Tourism. Yes, asking for Arnis players that will perform in the United States and the invitation of the ambassador of the United States. So I I was told, oh Tongs, you're coming. And then Grandmaster Estelioso was also invited to come. Ernesto Presas, Roberto Presas, and then some other guys. So I think we were six, seven, I think 11 people, all in all. So when and the funny thing there is these people doing karate and always making fun of me. Tongson, look at this, look at my kick, and so on. They come to me and said, "You teach us Arnis. You teach us Arnis." Because I'm flying to the United States first time. Yes, and they go, they're all they're staying behind. You see, I'm the youngest among the people inside the gym and so on. So that's the funny one. The teachers are nice. Yes, I said it's late. We are leaving next week. So that's it. So we went to the United States and we went around with Ernesto. Yes, we did some we call it caravan. Yes, in California. We went to Los Angeles, San Francisco. We went to Santa Rosa, Northern California. I remember the time, and so on. So that's my first time to go abroad. Yes, my first time, and I'm with Don Grandmaster Estelioso. So we did a demonstration with with so much people in the stadium, in the gymnasium, and we did the classical form. Yes, and I was very how do you call this? Cloud nine. It's a cloud nine for me. First time to perform with so much people. It's first time. I was very young. and until later on, I continued under Grandmaster Grandmaster Estelioso. Grandmaster Estelioso is from Antique
Antique
province.
province.
Yes, Antique province is part of Panay Island. Yes, it's still an Ilonggo area in Visayas, and that is um, Kulasi. The name of the town is Kulasi. Yes, it's one of the homes of traditional native Dumog. Yes, that is where you find them. They have this Dumog in festivals there. Yes, just for fun. Dumog and they give 20 pesos as as a prize for the champion, 15 pesos for the second place, 10 pesos for the third place, and so on. So just imagine 20 pesos that time is a lot of money. A
Yeah,
lot of money.
because the dollar
Yes, and
exchange rate was actually quite high during the time. Like back when you were a kid, it was like 2 pesos for $1 or something like that.
you bet, you're right.
Yeah,
Yes, because that time I remember when I already recognized what is a dollar. I think it's 6 pesos to a dollar.
right.
Yes, and yes, now it's 48 pesos. So yeah, look at the difference, the exchange rate now. Anyway, that is where I started. Yes, and the immersion in classical Arnis Abanico Tres Puntas went deeper and deeper. So there were nine students of us, because the old man is very selective. He doesn't just you don't just go there and I want to study under you because it doesn't charge anything. No, it's all the lessons are free. Yes, you just have to qualify to his taste that he accepts you as a student. So there were nine of us diligently studying under him, and after few years, eight. After another year, seven, and then five, so on, so on. So until there were only about, I think, four or three of us left. Then he said, "Come on, everybody! I have an announcement. I am not getting any younger. I'm now getting older and older. Uh, I want to let you know I am leaving Abanico Tres Puntas for the care of Rene." He tapped my shoulder. Yes, I said, "Master," I said, "Lolo, I don't think I'm the right one." He said, "I did not say you're the right one." He said, "I just say I am just leaving it to you. Take care of it." So it was really funny. And one of my classmates, he, in Filipino they always this like this, yeah, uh, something like that. Yeah, because it was wrong. It was I entered the wrong. I don't know how you call it. So anyway, I said, yeah, I will accept it. So I always tell people, they always ask me, "You are the founder of Abanico Tres Punta." I said, "No, it is owned by Grandmaster Mateo D. Estelioso of Colasi, Antique in Panay Island in the Philippines. Yes, he owns it. And what are you? I am a caretaker." Yes, because his term is take care of Abanico Tres Puntas. So until today, I am a caretaker. Yes, I make sure that Abanico Tres Puntas is protected. I will make sure that Abanico Tres Puntas is propagated properly. And 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 since it's an old school, old system, we do not have a curriculum. Yes, we have a system, but there is no curriculum. So I asked permission from him. I said, "Lolo, with your permission, I would like to arrange the lesson slowly and slowly, because I said, if we don't do this, when you are gone, there will be difficulty transferring this to people." Yes. He said, "Yeah, whatever is good." So he said, "Go ahead." So slowly I started to arrange it. Yes, the basics and so on. So I make I was trying to make some sort of a syllabus. Yes, a study guide and so on. And then I took a study group. Yes, about three of us, four, and we I let them do it, and I look at it, and I said, all right. Then I write it down, and so on and so on. Until later on, look at it as I said, wow, now these are modules. Yes. And now abanico tres puntas. Later on, I found out that there are four subsystem under abanico tres puntas as a system. Yes. Sticks combat, blade, uh, dumog ipit, and mano-mano. Yes. So all of this starts from the sticks. Yes. And then they are interpreted downstream. Yes. So it
But
goes,
it's but it starts with
yes,
the weapon. It starts with the
yes,
weapon.
that's right. And then the last one is mano-mano. Yes. Empty. No more weapon. So uh, I found out that way. See? And 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 I asked the grandmaster. I said, grandmaster, so these are subsystems. He said, you saw it? I said, yeah, I think so. That's it. I said, then under the four subsystems, again, modules. Yes, yes, all modules. No? I was able to make modules for six combat, for four modules, and the other one has four modules, and so on, four modules. Yes. So subsystems with modules, and so on. So it became now a system, uh, and a curriculum, and and that is where I started to write down. Yes, to write down the plan. I said, it has to be propagated. So we have to start down here, local, slowly, just that I would really understand what this is all about. And I started to write it down, plan. And I said, I can do this in 5 years. I said it's too short. 10 years. I said it's too short. 15, it's long. I said maybe 20 years. So it's a long-term plan. Yes, I laid it down. The development of Abanico Tres Puntas, propagating it throughout the world. Yes, so it's a plan. That's the way we did it. Yes, yeah, that's Abanico Tres Puntas how we started it. Yes.
The second question, actually, you kind of addressed already because I said the cataloging of his time under Ernie Presses in UST, the oldest
Mm.
extant university in all of Asia, along with his homies Bambit Dulai and other modern Arnis peeps
Mm.
at the
Mm.
time. So you addressed
Mm.
that already.
Mm.
The 1980s era and the changing of regimes and its effect on Filipino FMA.
Well, actually, in 1986,
86.
yes, in
Yeah.
1986 February, there was a change in the political
Regime.
landscape in the
Yeah.
Philippines. Yes, there was this changing of the guards in the palace. So when President Marcos fled the Philippines, so the new government took over, and there was this national association for Arnis during the time, under the Marcos regime.
It's
They
Narapil, right? Narapil? Narapil?
Narafil, yes,
Yeah,
Narafil.
yeah.
We are very active there. We are very active there. The National Arnis Association of the Philippines, and the president of the National Arnis Association of the Philippines, Narafil, is the chief of staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Yes, General Fabian
Fabian
Ver.
Bear. Yeah.
Yes, he's from Ilocos. Yes. So when he fled, so Narafil, his course was also derailed. So there were attempts to keep it floating, but since it was connected and identified to the old uh, to the old government, to the old regime, it was awkward to continue it. So there was this people who started to talk. Why don't we organize a new one? Yes, And the first meeting was held in Cubao City in Pulo Restaurant sometime July of 1986. Yes, they invited me to participate in the meeting. So it was Raymond Vilayo, who invited me, and Manong Roland Dantes was there.
Oh, Arnold
Yes,
Schwarzenegger's friend.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So we met there. There were four of us who sat down, and they said, we plan to put this up, a new Arnis organization. So I said, why me? They said, well, because your organization, where you belong, is established, and you have a structure already. And they were talking about Modern Arnis. They're talking about Modern Arnis. It's the International Modern Arnis. No, it's the International Philippine Martial Arts Federation, IPMAF, of
Eat my.
Ernesto. IPMAF, International Philippine Martial Arts Federation, of Ernesto Presas. Yes, because the time I was with Ernesto. So I said, why me? So they said, you have an organization. All right. So we started talking, meetings and meetings. And in September of 1986, the organization was formally registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Philippines as a non-stock and non-profit organization. Yes. So it's um, it replaced Narafil. Yes. And then it was accredited as an associate member of the Philippine Olympic Committee. Yes. So it became the National Sport Association for Arnis. And the name is Arnis Philippines that time. Uh, Raymond Velayo was president because during our meetings, he asked me, yes, uh, do you think I can be president? I said, I will talk to the grandmasters. Yes. And during the time, I have good connects with the grandmasters. I went around. I went to Tatang Ilustrisimo in Luneta in front of the Manila Hotel. Yes, I went to him and I asked for his opinion. The only answer of the old man is what is good. See, very simple. What is good? That's it. So I said, I think this is good. This is good. Go ahead. Then I went to Tatay Mena. Yes,
Jose
Grandmaster
Mena.
Mena.
Yeah, because
Yes,
they're homeboys. They're homeboys. They're like close
yes,
best friends. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Oh, yes. So I went to him. Then he
yeah.
said, "Oh, he's Ilonggo." So I was talking to him, and he said, "Oh, go ahead. I will support it." Then I went to Charlie Villanueva. Oh yes, I will support it. Then I went to that time I went to Picate, also in Ilonggo, Ilonggo Caraya. So these are the people, the time, and there were nine of them. I went to all of them. I I I also went to I think I mentioned also I went to Grandmaster Cañete. Yes, that time. Then he said, whatever you think is possible, just do it. Yes. And then I went back to them and I said, I told Raymond, yeah, it's fine with them. So he was president. Manong Roland Dantes was vice president. Then I was secretary general. Yes, I was the first secretary general of Arnis Philippines, and then so on. And then 1987, we introduced the adoption. They adopted Arnis Philippines adopted the padded sticks competition. Yes, the padded stick system because in 1974, I think, or 73, I don't remember exactly. It was already being experimented by Ernesto, the padded sticks. Yes. So Jem Bambit Dulay at the time was also there, part of the experimental group. We drafted it. We drafted the rules, and then it was introduced to Arnis Philippines in 1987. 1987, and we had competitions. To make it short, uh, it was it was used later on and propagated because Arnis Philippines is the National Sport Association for Arnis
Right.
under the
Right.
Philippine Olympic Committee. And then, too bad we had the falling. Yes, I have to leave Arnis Philippines because there was some arrangement that probably they overlook. Yes, they overlook. It
I
could be
see.
intentional or not. Yes, it was overlooked. The arrangement is very simple. The arrangement is no collections. Yes, do not collect from people. We just have to support them. But later on, they were imposing that when you become a member, you pay this. You need to have an ID that you have to pay this. I said no. I said that is for me. For me, that is not the first step that we should promote our niche during that time because I said people are not really very interested and now and so on. And then there's some also other reasons why. So it's more of organizational conflict.
So that was
So
like Arnis Philippines 1986 around that time.
yes, I left Arnis Philippines I think 1988, if I
Gotcha.
remember right. Yes,
So can you,
because in 1988 we were planning during those times we were planning Ernesto Bambit Dulay and me. We were talking about the first World Arnis Congress. Yes, to be held in the Philippines. And basically, it's a family affair. Yes, but the leadership of Arnis Philippines was telling me, no, you cannot use the word Congress. I said, why? No, because it's only us that can use it. I said, no, no. Number two, I said, why do they stop us? This is a private funded activity,
right. The
and
government has no control per our constitution. Yeah.
we do not ask for government assistance.
Right.
Yes, so it was funded privately, and that we had it in 1989. I think February of 1989. Yes, and we had competitions, a training camp and competition, and we did it in UST. Yes, and so it's the first World Arnis Congress and tournament. We did it in UST in 1989. If I remember right, it's February. Yes, and
Would you
then
mind me would you mind me asking before we continue, before keep that thought,
mm,
you were going to say and then keep that thought, but I just want to interject. Would do you remember what kind of format it was? It's kind of relevant to our to what I'm going to ask later on. What kind of format the tournament was? Like was it like point
oh
sparring,
yes, it's padded
combatant
stick.
type? Mhm.
Yes, it's padded stick. Headgear,
Mhm.
full armor. Yes, full armor. The format is one hit, one score. Yes. So what you see now, the common, pack, stop, and then award, stop, award, stop, award. So that's what you see now. Yes.
That's
So there
awesome.
was, yeah, because very simple. Hmm. It's a blade concept. Hmm.
Yes.
Ernesto said it's blade concept. So if I get if you get hit, you're done. Something like that. Yes. And we were just using padded stick. And the first padded stick actually is how do you call it? It's there was no engineering on that. Yes. If you get hit, you will see the stars. Even if you have the headgear, you will see the stars because there was no engineering.
So
Yes.
so
We
basically
just
the stick was just rattan padded with rubber.
rattan and 1 inch in diameter, 2.5
Oh,
centimeters. It's very heavy. Yes. And we did a lot of we don't know it's experimental. Eh?
so it's like
And
a lagoon, the Laguna, like what they do in Paite, kind of like that,
boom,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
boom, and
yeah,
then you see
yeah.
the stars. Even you have headgears. And the first headgear actually is a kendo headgear, men of the kendo. Why? Because
Mm.
Ernesto has complete sets of headgears, complete sets of kendo armors, headgears, and everything. Yes, so we were using it. We were using it, and the first prototype, it was Bambit Dulay. Yes, the he is doing the errands. The first prototype was made in Raon Street in Quiapo. Yes, in Quiapo district, using out of the kendo headgear. Yes. So it was Mang Rolyo. The name is Mang Rolyon, and it was me and Bambit Dulay doing the errand. Yes. Yeah. We're doing the errand, and it was developed. And here's the funny one: we do not have body vest, no armors. You know what is the first body armor we use? It's
No.
a baseball uh, vest. Yes, being used by the umpires and the catchers. Yes, because in UST, in USA they have this baseball team. So Ernesto Presa saw the armor, said, "Oh, that's possible. Why not?" Which is correct. So that was the first armor. Yes, the headgear is kendo, and the body vest is a catcher's vest, mm, from baseball, and that's the one. And we do not have gauntlets. We do not have all these things. And the experimental there is the rules is one hit, one score. Yes, and so on. And we develop already the officiating and so on. And every time they do it, I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. And until we were able to construct it. Yes, and that's sometime in, I think, 1974 or 75 or 76. I can't really recall it, but that's the
That's a
time we were starting. Yes, long time ago. And the first padded stick, like I said, if you get it, you will see the stars. Boing! I said, oh, what's that? See, and so on, and until later on, it was engineered slowly. Yes,
okay. So
and
I'm sorry to interject and continue. You're like, and
mhm.
then
Yeah, and then from Arnis Philippines and so on, we continued, and we focus because it went to our mind that we cannot work. We can't work together. I said, what's happening? Why can't we work together? It's probably some sort of we have different directions. You see, we have different directions. So I was talking to that time we were talking. I was talking to, yeah, again, Bambit Dura is there, and we that time we were already starting to, yeah, International Modern Analyst Federation of the Philippines, IMAF, was organized. Yes, it was Remy Presas who organized it. Yes, because Remy said, I want to bring home, yes, to the motherland, modern analyst, because in the early part of the 1970s, he went to the United States to propagate it. Yes, to propagate modern Arnis. And during the time he was going around the United States, yeah, it's a story, going around the United States, doing seminars, camps, and so on. And until later part, when he went back to the Philippines after many years, I think he was in the United States for 28 years, teaching, going around, a little bit about 30 years to 28 years, if I'm not wrong. When he went back, yes, he organized the International Modern Analyst Federation Philippines. Yes, and Bambit Duray was there, and some other senior instructors now under IMAP, and we focus there. Yes, we build it, we build it, and uh, uh, at the same time, my focus. All, I'm sorry. Yeah, I touched my camera. Uh, my focus is also developing the abanico tres puntas. So these are two extreme system. Yes, the other one is traditional, and the other one is modern, modernist, hybrid. Yeah, see, hybrid. and the other one is a classical system or traditional. So these are two extreme system. So what I do is I divide the line. When I do modern Arnis, it's just modern Arnis. When I do classical system abanico tres puntas, it's just abanico tres puntas. I do not intermix them. Yes, and it's really
So
difficult.
so actually, I'm gonna interject because we were supposed to continue with the National Arnis Congress and then into the Ramos era. But before we go
Mm.
to that question, I wanted to add this because this is kind of free flowing. How do you ensure the purity of that when it comes to a sport context? Because this is very important for us to know. Because if we go the route of the Japanese with do instead of jutsu, um, um, we might lose something. Because you know how what happened to karate and kodokan. Essentially, those are 20th century creations,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
how do we if we do the live sparring? How do we take into context more modern systems and keeping more classical ones, such as Abanico Tres Puntas and those systems that you see in Laguna? How do we adopt that? So obviously the means of tournament or competition for each one has to be different. Am I right?
That's right. Uh, we must people must consider that the Philippine stick fighting or arnes or eskrima, whatever we call this here in the Philippines, is it has several aspects. Yes, the very martial art aspect. Yes, the sport aspect. Yes, so you have to separate the two. It has to be separated. One goes to combat the combat system. Some adopted the tacticals and so on. So when it started to evolve, see, and sport. So we have to separate the two. And until later on, in the modern way of teaching today, it's no longer just the two. Now we have entertainment. Yes, physical fitness is already there. They are now using this for some sort of a pastime. See,
Yeah.
when after work, people goes to the gym. Some goes to Taibo during the time. I remember Taibo. See, and now we have boxing. Some people goes to boxing. Some people goes to swimming. Some people goes to basketball, and some people goes to martial art. Yes. Now they have selections in martial arts. Some goes to kickboxing, Muay. They go to taekwondo, and they go to Arnis. Okay? So these are now no longer just the two aspects. Now it has many aspects now. Now how do we preserve this? Okay? How do we preserve the classical system and so on, such that it will not be contaminated by by like what you said. Uh, how do it stays as purist or something like that. It is a very difficult. Uh,
Endeavor. Yeah.
yeah, very difficult. Now I can only talk about Abanico Tres Puntas and that. Yes, that's why we always maintain the word classical Arnis Abanico Tres Puntas. Yes, because in the curriculum, yes, in the curriculum we follow it. We follow the curriculum. We do not go out. We maintain the original version. So what we teach, what we do inside Abanico Tres Puntas is a pass on from Grandmaster Mateo D. Stelioso. Yes. I never attempted to add. Yes, probably I forgot some because we do not record, we do not write. Every time we train and I attempted to write, he said, "Oh, don't write because during the time there is no video. You see, there is no video. Your only way is to write it down. So do not write. It's because if you write it, it will not stick into your brain. Yes, do it naturally. So, but there is no curriculum. How can you put this? This is my basic, and tomorrow the other one. The next lesson is different again, and then next week here comes the lesson that was taken up last month, and so on, it scrambles, because uh, there is a system, but there is no curriculum. It's really difficult.
That's how
Mhm.
I was taught when I was a kid. Exactly like that, like the old way.
Mm.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was like
yes, old school.
one lesson at a time, like one move. And they
Mm.
didn't write anything down. They're like, get this in your muscle memory, in your bones, in your
Correct,
blood.
correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct. You are right, and that happened, and that happened, and every time I would attempt to write, he would tell me, "No, don't do it, don't do it." So, and would you believe, when I was writing the curriculum and trying to structure it, every time I would teach, it pops out. Pak. Then I will write it down. Oh, then I will put it here inside, say, level one, module one, or module two, sequence number 6. So this thing that pops out today, I will put it inside. Bang. So it will bump out number 4 to number 5 to number 6, and so on. And every time and after many years, it's always coming up that way. Yes, because I cannot remember it. I sit down and write it down. I cannot. But when I start to teach, it will pop out. It will pop out. And I stayed. I tried my best to stay in the original version. Yes, because that is what the Grandmaster said, Mateo Stilioso. He said, uh, in Abanicot Tres Puntas, you have enough. He said, you have enough. In short, don't don't add on, don't modify. But he said, there is a certain period or hmm, a level that it will just evolve by itself. You cannot force it. You can force it. Yeah. So I I just I just continue and do what he said.
Would
So that
taking
is
ta that is so go ahead. That
that
is
is how we do it in Abanico Tres Puntas. Yes, we make sure that we follow the curriculum. Yes, the curriculum. But again, I always remember when he said it will evolve by itself. In short, there is a certain level that it will just, and
gotcha.
that is where the four subsystems are are intermixed already. Yes. And when I started to intermix this, I saw this in Tapi Tapi of modern Arnis. Very close, very similar. I saw Ray Donaldo doing his largo mano. I said, very close. He, so I remember when the old man said, yes, it will evolve by itself. Yes, do not force it. So it was from there. Then I saw how do you call this, Grandmaster Dulay. He
Bambit.
was doing a lot of, yes, Bambit. He was doing a lot of numbers and exercises and drills. And I said, I did not study that, but it's similar to this. I said, now it's evolving. You see, it's evolving. At a certain level, it will evolve by itself. Yes,
I
because
want
it
to
will just.
address sorry, I just want to address one of the questions for by Andrew Jansen. Question: PCAF 2017. What new developments did the organization bring, and what does it have planned for immediate future? I'm actually going to get to that because it's one of our last questions.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yes,
ties
yes,
into that as GM knows. The next thing I
yes.
want to address is what happened in the 90s during the Ramos era, that
Uh,
decade of the 1990s. You know,
there was no actually immediate interference. Uh, as far as in Arnis, there was none. But the daughter of President Ramos then, uh, what's her name? She took over sports. Yes, and this is where the Ramos administration came out with the sports for all. Yes, the sports for all movement. Yes, and they have this book, and they use this something like they were. pushing some sort of a sports ideology. Yes, during the time, and they call this sports for all. And one of the I remember who was really pushing this is the time is Dr. Aparicio Miki, who was then the director of the Bureau of Physical Education and Sports of the Ministry of Education. Yes, Ministry of Education and Culture, something like that. Yeah. So there was no really interference. There is none. But again, um, in during the time, it's still Arnis Philippines. Yes, yes, it's still Arnis Philippines. The longest, the longest sitting president in the history of sports in the Philippines is in Arnis Philippines. Yes, and we will go to that question. Arnis Philippines, the leadership there is about 30 years. Yes, if I am right with the mathematics, it was it was formed in 1986, and in 2017, it was taken over by PECAP. Yes, so is that 30 years? Am I right? More or less?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the longest sitting president. Yes, and 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 there was this prodding from people that something has to be done, reforms and so on. I said, no, no, well, they have their own direction. I said, no, but you have to do this and do this, and finally, finally, uh, something has to be done. There has to be reforms, and they said, and it's already some sort of politics. I said, that's politics. That's politics. But you cannot get away with that because it's an organization. Okay? So I said, all right. So what do we do? I said, let's work if we can come up with another organization to replace it. To cut it short, we were able to convince now the chairman and president of Philippine Eskrima Kalianes Federation, PECAP, Senator Miguel Subiri. Yes, some people were asking, why Subiri, a politician, as president? I said Zubiri in 1989, 1990 is one of the standouts in competition.
Well,
Yes,
he was trained by Edgar, wasn't it? Was he not?
Ricketts,
Oh, he was trained by
Ricketts.
Trofer.
Yes, Tupper. Yes, he's with the Bakbakan
Right.
group, a sub organization of Kalisilistrisimo. Yes, the Bakbakan group. So um, Migsubir was president. Yes, and how did we start this? We started with when we were talking. Senator Subir said, "Can we organize it?" I said, "Yes, why not?" It's me, Miss Pichi Sagin of
Pichi
Kalisilistrisimo.
Barosagin. Yeah, she's married
Yes,
to like one of the most famous doctors in the Philippines from my
yes,
area, from
yes,
Batangas.
yes. That's right.
Is he still
And
with
then
us?
Bambit Dul. Yes, I think she's online. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about her husband.
No.
Oh, darn.
He passed away. Passed away earlier, a few years ago. And then me, Bambit Dulay, Miss Pichi, and then some other fellows, some other people from IMAP. Yes, Doctor Paolo Motita, the president of IMAP. Yes, we tried to convince Senator Subiri to lead the organization, a new organization. He said he's not interested. Not interested. And finally, he said, "So what do we do?" So we came up with the National Arnis Congress. He said, "Do you think we can gather them all?" I said, "We have the network, we have the connection to bring them in." So finally, we were able to bring them in into one roof. Yes. Do you think they will not fight each other? I said, I think they will behave. Yes. Because a lot of this doesn't meet eye to eye. Yes. So finally they came. We invited about 400 formally invited to participate to come to the National Arnis Congress in 2016 2017. Yes. Um, they they came all the way from southern Philippines and northern Philippines to Manila. You see, at their cost, at their own expense, they came to Manila, and this is where we saw and concluded that there is really a need. These people are hungry and thirsty for reforms, and that's it. I said, let's go. That's the cue. So we became more enthusiastic, and we had to do it because the signal is very clear. Yes, people came all the way from Mindanao, from Visayas, farthest of Luzon, north and south, at their own expense. Yes, they came to Manila. You see, so it's a very good signal that they are all hungry and thirsty for new reforms, and that's the start of uh, of the new organization. Now there is this so-called, they want to ask about the plans to pick up or whatever. What was this? From Mr. Johnson.
Oh, no. I'm glad that you're naming names concerning this because I'm looking at the camera for any kind of future archivist of the history of FMA. Its immediate history anyway. I'm not talking about like the pre-Hispanic past, the Spanish times, the Americans, the World War II hook insurgency. This is a very valuable episode. You'll get so much information for this. So out of all the episodes in the FMA discussion, and like I think 107 is very impactful from like the recent history of FMA. So keep a track of this. This is a very important episode for any future guy that's going to do his PhD on Arnis. My next question exactly was that was the global renaissance of FMA in the 2000s. So it leads up to what you were going to talk about. And then
Mhm.
the Andrew Jansen was like PCAF 2017. What new developments did the organization bring, and what does it have planned for the immediate future? So it ties into that next question: the global renaissance of FMA in the 2000, the organizational structure from like
So
the early 2000s onwards.
yes, firstly, the PECAP was organized as a national federation. Yes, a national. So this is not an international national organization. The very purpose is to gather all factions, all organizations in one unified organization. Yes. What is the basis of this? The basis of this is the Republic Act 9850. Yes, Republic Act 9850, the law that declares Arnis as the national martial art and sports of the Philippines. And there are provisions there that says that there shall be a unified organization. Yes, under the law. See, and this is where we wanted to do to gather everybody. Yes, to under one roof, and come up with one direction. So it's a unified organization. So it turned out later on to be PECAP. Yes. Uh, in PECAP, if you look at it, because of its involvement as the National Sport Association of Arnis in the Philippines, huh? So it has focused more as a start. We focus more on sports. Yes. because there is a need to really guide the sports in the Philippines. Yeah, because in the Philippines we have the Palarong Pambansa. Yes, the national youth games, the national games under the Department of Education. Yes, and then the other one is the Batang Pinoy, or the youth games under the Philippine Sports Commission. See, and all of this adheres to what the National Sport Association would lay down as a direction. So in short, what they do there, the rules and everything, is basically some sort of, it connives with the National Sports Association. You see, such that
Right.
again, the people that officiates in, like in the national games, the Philippine national games, the Batang Pinoy youth games, are all accredited by PECAP. Yes. So you cannot officiate there and participate in running the tournament if you are not accredited by PECAP. So in short, the officiating people are from PECAP. So that time we were focusing there. Hmm. But PECAP is not only in sport. It's not only in sport, because the composition of PECAP, when it was organized, the founding members, now there are 15 founding members in PECAP, and some of these are not so much in sports tournament, in competition. They are in teaching and combat, cultural, tacticals, and so on. So it's a mixture. Hmm. Some people focus in sport, and some are not into that. Yes. So to name the some of the founding members there, it's there. The Pikiti Tirsia World Federation of Tuhon Mel Tortal, uh, International Modernist Federation Philippines, IMAP. Yes. And then KI is there, Calis Ilustrisimo. Yes. They are not too keen with the sports competition. Yes. They are more in classical teaching. You see, classical Arnis, and under the spirit of Tatang Ilustrisimo. And then we have the Lightning Scientific Arnis International, LSI, of Ben Lema, Tata Ben. And then Narafil is there. See, Narafil is there. And then we have the Abanico Lapunti, yes, of Cebu. We have the Doce Paris there. We have the Balintawak. Hmm. So these are all founding members. Abanico Tres Puntas is there. And then there is one slot in the board that is represented by Wake Up. Yes, Wake Up. So in short, Wake Up was allocated a seat in the board. But Wake Up is a national federation. Yes, it's a national federation. It's not an international federation. So the focus is Philippines. Yes, because of the guidance of Republic Act 9850, or the law that declares Arnis as national sport
No sport.
and martial art of the Philippines. Yes,
What was it before that? Was it Sepak Takraw?
the
What was the
SIPA,
national sport? Sipa.
SIPA, SIPA, not Sipak Takraw, SIPA. Yes, when I was in grade school, I remember that. Yes, the national sport is SIPA. Yes, it's like the national bird, Maya.
Maya. Yeah.
Yes, you remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. I do. And yeah, the
So
national dress is the Barong Tagalog at Barot Saya.
yes,
I have a
yes,
lot.
Saya.
The reason why I have
Yes.
a lot of the reason why I have a lot of those, the yung sastre, the
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes.
the what's it called? The official maker of those for Marcos is a friend of my dad. and he has a store in
Ah,
West Covina here in California, right by Los Angeles.
mm,
So that,
mm,
and they give us deals all the time. So I have a lot of them in my, you know, yeah.
yeah.
What is
So,
that called? What is that stray? I don't know how to oh, whatever. Let's move on
mm,
from that. Um, Taylor, there you go. It's the Taylor, the
yes,
official
yes,
Taylor
Sastre,
of
Taylor,
Marcos.
yes, Sastre. Yeah.
Um, the so we went over that, the global renaissance of FMA in 2000s, and then Ernie's boys are circle in the EU zone in America, like basically the command structure of combatant in Europe. Are you familiar? You still have a lot of contacts there, right?
Yeah, actually, we were able to bring them all together. Yes. Uh, 3 years ago was a very big event for the combatants when they organized the World Combatant Championship in Puri City in Finland, and I was there. I was invited, and I was very impressed because uh, for a long time there's the so-called demarcation line in combatant. There's a demarcation line. This one is this group, and this one this group, and in one of my trips to Finland, I talked to one of the leading men of a combatant, Tommy Harrell. Yes, Grandmaster Tommy Harrell. So I told him, why don't you start? Yes, spark it, because I know that this group there does not work here, and so on. They don't work together. See? So I said, Grandmaster Ernesto is gone. Yes, unless you solidify and come together in 5, 6, 10 years, I said, you will be diluted. I told them, you will be diluted, and later on, uh, combatant will just be part of history. Yes, slowly the name will disappear. Yes, and there goes the legacy of Ernesto Presas. Yes, the his blood, sweat, and tears of Ernesto Presas will be gone, and you people are the only the only way that can preserve the legacy of Grandmaster Ernesto. So I said, if you will listen to me, I would like to tell you this, the following. I list it down. They said, oh, it's difficult to bring them in and so on. No, you start with 3 or 4 or 5. Just make sure that you do the right thing, right, right one, and slowly they will get curious. And when they see that you're doing it right, and there is no politics inside, no ego, no everything as what they say, people will start to come in. And 2 years,
Wow.
in 2 years time, they organized first time in Puri, Finland. I think 3 years ago. 3 years ago, they put it up, the World Combatant Championship, and come 32 countries came in. The those people that doesn't meet eye to eye were there in one table, eating together, and so on. And it was really a very big achievement, a very big success, because the cracks the cracks was able to get cemented back. You see, so that's one. Now here this one. There is the so-called oh, I'm modern armies. The other one says no, we are combatant. See, so there's this one that combatant is different, modern army is different. No, no, the roots, the roots, all of this are from modern armies. Yes,
It's a Precious family
combatant,
legacy, right? Precious
correct,
family.
correct, correct. That's why to erase all of these barriers. Yes. Today we just use the word the Prestas Arnis legacy. Yes. There is no I am from Remy, I am from Ernesto, I am from Roberto. No. We are now trying to put them together. Yes. And it's doing well. Slowly. Slowly. You cannot force it. Yes. But at the rate they are now working together. And I am very happy about it. Yes. Why? Because of those people when Ernesto was starting to dream of coming up with a big federation of his own outside outside of his brother, independent of Remy, he told me, Tongs, can you help do this, organize and so on like this? So we organized the IPMAP, and he appointed me as vice president. Yes, he is the president. International Philippine Martial Arts Federation. So it became the umbrella organization of Arjuken Karate Association, Modern Arnis Association of the Philippines, Modern Manumano, Philippine Kendo Association. What's the other one? And there is in the structure that we made, there is one box that has no name. Yes, and during the time, Ernesto was coming up with his own curriculum and putting together the mano mano, putting together. He was trying to come up with a curriculum, a hybrid curriculum, a hybrid curriculum. And what happened? It's combatant. Yes, it's combatant. So combatant is that time was actually designed only to be one of those organizations under the umbrella of IPMAP. But later on, it became as the major style. Yes, it is no longer a particular organization under the umbrella. Yes. It became the style of the whole of the Presas Ernesto Presas system. Yes. So now all over the world, if I count it, if I'm correct, there are 32 countries that has established combatant chapters. Yes, all over the world, and it was
I want
successful.
I want to address it before we get to our final point, which is I know kind of like your baby and a bunch of other people coming together. But I want to just address. Just got to read some of these. What are the rivalries and divisions at Arnis that still exist today that you would love to see resolved? Oh, okay, it ties into the next question. Sastres dressmaker. Yes, I said that. Yes, Sastres Taylor dressmaker. Mananahi in Tagalog. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some words that escape me sometimes because it's hard to be a polyglot. um, yeah. So let's talk about the World Confederation. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
of
yeah, it's very important.
Filipino.
Very
Yeah,
important.
so that's what we should talk about next because it ties into the other
Excuse me.
questions that people brought up.
Mhm.
So which I will
Before we
represent, by the way. For please
mm,
join us next month for David Goggins's 48-hour challenge. Otherwise, GM Rene labeled it as the 4-hour habit. That's actually a
oh
better
yeah,
name for it, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You represent me
yeah,
there, please.
yeah. I'll represent you. And then so
Yeah, you please.
yeah, there's gonna be a couple of us actually in the Arnis Cali Eskrima community
Mm.
worldwide that it's gonna do it. I'm the one that representing you, but what I'm saying is there's like a couple of us that we're like we're gonna do it. I'm like, don't I have a heart attack?
Uh, so
Go ahead,
anyway,
sir.
uh, I important thing that I jump. Uh, um, the organization of the International Modern Federation Philippines, IPMAP, IMAP of Grandmaster Rene. Yeah, exactly when he said, I want to bring back armies to the Philippines and so on. So he organized a homeland organization, and that is now IMAP. Yes. Today, I am the chairman of IMAP. Yes. This is my second term. as chairman, because we do our election every 2 years. We elect our officers or members of the board, and uh, I should say that his dream, he should be proud of what he what he envisioned. IMAF now is probably one of the most scattered and most organized and most structured Arnis organization in the Philippines. Yes. Uh, in almost all major cities in the Philippines, it has branches and chapters. It has networks all over. Yes. And name the organization, IMAP is there. Yes, IMAP is there. So in short, IMAP is a builder. Yes. It is not there to compete with anybody, because that is exactly how it was designed. Yes. And running the organization as Remy wanted to is a collegial body. It's a board of independent minded people that are working together without personal agenda or personal interest. That's why it just grow. It just grow. And lastly, it could probably the people can correct me, probably for one of the most financially stable Filipino martial arts harness organization in the Philippines. Yes. Why? Because it can even afford to give out money or cash to charity. 30% of what it makes from revenues, 30% goes to charity. Yes. So it's a standard practice there. Yes. And it spends a lot for youth development. Yes. And career development, career path development of instructors, including their welfare. Yes. When a dedicated instructor goes to the hospital, gets sick, would you believe IMAP is there? Yes. They pay the hospital bills, if not in full, at least in part. You see. So uh, this is a very nice concept of a martial art organization. In short, it is not only for martial arts. Yes. It is some sort of a social organization that looks after the welfare not only of its members but also other organizations. I will cite a few. I will not name the names. We have several or many names already of grandmasters outside the modern army system, from other systems. We help them in their hospital bills. We give them assistance. You see, from the money of IMA. Roberto Presas is the last and the surviving brothers of the Presas family.
There can be only
He
one. It's like Highlander.
Yes, yes, he's the last one, and he's he has pension. Yes, from IMA every month. His medical expenses are being answered by IMA. Everything, supplements, vitamins, everything is answered by IMA. You see, so that this is how IMA takes care of their people, and this is exactly what I was telling when I mentioned uh, uh, organizations, how we run it, and to the last centavo, the money inside IMAP is accounted. Yes, it's accounted. Last week we were talking about releasing an X amount of a big amount. Huh? It's an X amount. It will be donated to the farmers. I mentioned that to you in one of our conversations. To the farmers that was affected by Taal volcano. Yes. So we
Yeah.
are turning a big amount to help them and 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 so that they can recover faster.
After
This
we
is
talk about the World Confederation of Filipino Martial Arts Council, um, we should probably talk about your coffee.
Oh,
Your
okay.
involvement with the government, with the coffee, industry kind of thing. But
Again,
yeah,
well,
but let's talk about the Confederation. That would be next, so we can address all these questions.
yeah. Well, I today I'm actually still a sitting director of the Philippine Coffee Board in the Philippines. Yes, I sit in the Philippine Coffee Board since 2003. 2003. Yes. So I have been there for a long time. I our work is help the farmers, coffee farmers, technicals, help them on whatever what they need. Uh, we help them in their market development of their farms, technical assistance, and all of this. Yes, we conduct trainings in the field, and my participation there because I represent because every member of the board represents one sector. Yes, so there's coffee farmers group, retailers, millers, and so on, academe, government. I sit for the cooperatives. Yes, because you will note that I will use I. Huh? Please pardon me. Please pardon me, my friends here. Uh, I am more of an organization man. I like organizing. Yes, I love to do it. And then if I am able to organize a group and it takes off, yes, I feel fulfilled. Yes, I am very happy. So one of my endeavors is organizing community-based organizations like cooperatives. Yes. I used to organize, all in all, in my records, I was able to organize, would you believe, more than 500 cooperatives. Yes. It's big, big. And if you put them together today, their total asset, their total asset is more than 12 billion pesos. Yes. This group. See? So anyway, there's too much to elaborate in cooperatives. People knows it because
It looked like it
cooperativism.
looked it looked like you drank coffee for this interview. There's a cup
No,
that
it
I
just
saw over there.
yeah, yeah.
There's a cup over there.
So not so much to elaborate on that because cooperativism actually started in Europe, so they know it. Yes, it's very common in Europe. So you were asking about the confederation.
Rachel, yeah, go ahead, sir.
All right. So today, again, like I said, the hardest to do is put up and bring together the large organizations in one roof. See, that is very very hard to do. You know why? Because you're putting in one table all of these are chiefs, yeah, chief, generals. All of them are generals. You see, so all of them are kings of their kingdom. It's really difficult to put them together. But
Right.
again, when you have a clear intention, see, people will listen. Yes, people will listen. And like I said, we always read in most read that FMA is very fragmented, very very fragmented. Each one has its own. To each his own. Mine is better than yours, and so on. This is how you do it. You are doing it wrong. I read it always, every day, every day. I cannot butt in because if I do it, I may be wrong again. I may be wrong also. You see. So number two, uh, I do not I do not see it as healthy when each people keep telling no you should have do this, you should turn this right and so on, because in our organization this is what we do. You see, it's dividing, it's divisive. Our our main aim here is to put together Yes, if not all, at least we can start with a few organizations. Today we were able to bring in together uh, the common names that you will hear in Filipino martial arts, local and international. So we sat down and talked. It's very fragmented. So why don't we sit down and show the world that there's still hope of putting FMA together. So let's start. Let us all start. We do it and hope that people will join us in the future. So we organize and put up this federation of federations. You see. So when you say federation of federations, you are talking of a confederation. A confederation. So we organize the World Filipino Martial Arts Confederation. Who is inside of Filipino Martial Arts Confederation? Number one, uh, Balintawak, uh, World Eskrima Balintawak Arnis Federation, WIBAP. Yes. When you say Balintawak, I'm sure Balintawak are listening here. Yes. WIBAP is the umbrella organization of Balintawaks. Yes. Members here are the big names in Balintawak organizations. Yes. Manong Babita Buada is a member there of the WIBAP. Uh, Chobel Balintawak. Yes. Hybrid Balintawak. Hybrid Askal. Nickel Stick. Red Balintawak. Uh, Babita Bimina, Balintawak, and so on. I think 11 or 10 of them, yes, inside WebUp, and they are members of the confederation. Yes, they are represented. And then Kakoy Dosepares sits in the board. He sits in the board. Uh, Modern Arnis is there. Lightning Scientific, Elsa is there.
Elsa is
KI
there.
is there. Yes, KI is there. Filipino Combat System is there. Regionaldo. Yes, Regionaldo is there. Combatan is there. Okay.
Is Lescast there too? Lescast is there too. Lescast.
Lescas is, we consider it, I hope they can correct me, but we take this on the lineage. Yes, so it's Ben Lema
Ben Lema.
umbrella.
Okay.
Yes. So Lescas said they came from Ben Lema. So they're there. They're there. So and Balintawak is there. Narapil is there. And then what the other one? Pikiti Kali World Federation of Meltortal is there. You see, so we were able to put this together, and these are all among the shall we say among the big names in Filipino martial arts, local and international, and we were able to put them together, and and we are going to formally launch this in March 2022. Yes, in the Philippines. Yes, we are coming up with the so-called the uh, the international FMA conference and technical paper presentation. Yes, it's a gathering of FMAers it's a conference in the Philippines in March 2022, and then in the evening there will be the Bayanihan Heroes and Legends Night. Yes, in charge of that is Miss Pichi, Miss Pichi
I'm
Sagin.
I'm working like 50, 60 hour weeks so I can save money to go to the World FMA 2020 because I was financially wiped out by the virus. And I was supposed
Mm.
to go to the Philippines in March of 2020 to be there, but it's been postponed for 2 years. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you next year and everyone else there. I
You have
call
to
it
be
like
there.
Enter the Dragon, like Han Island, and Enter the Dragon,
So yeah, to continue, the Bayanihan is in the evening, and it was assigned to Miss Pichi to organize it with Tita Patti of
Pichi Baronsangin? Yeah.
yes, and Tita Patti. Patti is the daughter of Grandmaster Ben Lema. Yes, Patti Caballero, and they're being assisted by Tohon Mel Tortal. So it's more of cultural. Yes, cultural. And then on the third day we will have the a joint camp, the Filipino Martial Arts Festival, and a joint camp. So this is where delegates from different organizations will come in and come how do you call this uh, in one venue. It's a camp. Yes, there is no competition. We wanted to get away with competition at the moment, and then we have the gala night. It's a big event. It's a big event, and the gala night. This is where we do our a lot of presentations there. It's more cultural and recognize people. We expect we expect about 350 delegates coming in. Okay. So just imagine we are still in the pandemic and we are targeting 350 because like we said, the vaccine now started to roll out. Okay? It started to roll out, and we look at in the middle of 2021, the the restriction will start to slow down. Yes, and then everything will start to go up again. Yeah, because it's in the bottom. It's in the bottom today. Everything's in the bottom. So no way but up. No way but up. It will go up. See, and we wanted to take off in March 2022, and 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 that is where we are going to formally introduce the World Filipino Martial Arts Confederation. What is the purpose of the confederation? The purpose here is again to start the overuse term of unification. Yes, it's overused, but there is no other word to do that. If you say to bring together, the the other meaning is unity. You see, it's still the same. Probably we can lessen the so-called fragmentation inside FMA. Yes, because look at this. Uh, these are the big organizations. These are big ones. I mean, big ones, and all of them chapters and branches worldwide. You see, one of the big ones is Filipino Combat System, Regionaldo. It's everywhere. It's
Right.
everywhere. You
FCS.
see, yes,
FCS.
it's everywhere.
Shout out
Yeah,
FCS.
yes. See, and then Mel Tortal and in cooperation with other PTK groups, they're all over the world. See? I would say PTK as a whole is probably one of the biggest in the world. You see, but they have their own internal matters to fix. But again, it's the biggest if you put them together. So I hope the day will come that they can make it on their own way. And then Moderna is also a big name worldwide, all over the world. Yes, there are fragmentations there, fragments there, some sort of some divisions, but slowly they are starting to go back. Yes, under the Precious Arnis legacy. Okay, because we started to again. I mentioned I am from Remy. No, I am from Ernesto. I am from Roberto. We are starting to remove it
I love the
slowly.
fact that the acronym is also PAL. So PAL, pal, as in my friend.
Yeah, yeah,
You see,
yes,
you see, it also
yes.
stands for
Oh,
Philippine Philip Philippine Airlines.
yes, yes. So Precious Arnis legacy. You
Yeah,
see,
PAL.
so uh, just imagine and combatant. Just imagine combatant. So all over the world, all over the world. Anywhere you go, it's combatant. And then balintawak.
Oh,
Anywhere you go, there are balintawaks. And
speaking
it's
of which,
very, it's,
it's
how do you
huge.
call this? It's huge. You are right. And
Speak,
today,
speak Speaking of which, because we're doing kind of shout outs because you're naming all the names. Can I give a shout out to something I forgot yesterday in my own interview. It's GM Bobby Taboada.
yeah,
Sir,
Manong Bobby.
napakabuti niyo tao. You're so nice. He volunteered to go after me in the garage karate, thing, which is the
Hmm,
biggest Filipino martial art kind of centered YouTube and Facebook video
hmm,
channel there is. It's more geared
hmm,
towards the Filipino audience, even though they have a karate base. They're not really FMAers. But yeah, you
hmm,
guys are just quality tao po kayo. Thank you, GM Bobby. You're such
hmm.
a like he's just a kind and humble guy, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yes,
But
yes.
yeah, but that Valento walk is included. Continue. I'm sorry I interrupted you, sir.
Yeah, balintawak is, well, again, balintawak is, people should know this. Balintawak is a far relative of modern Arnis. Yes, because Remy Presas studied balintawak, and you will see the corridas or the freestyle system, the drill of modern Arnis has has a semblance of balintawak. Right? Because Remy studied from Grandmaster Mongkal, balintawak, directly in Cebu. So the influence is there. That's why we are very close to the Balintawak people because we consider them as our relative. We call them a far relative, yes, but they are relatives. And then after Balintawak, we have yeah, Kali Silistrisimo. Yes, one of the big influencer also in Filipino martial arts worldwide. See? Worldwide, and it's fast growing, faster than what we thought before. Why? Because again they started to solidify. Yes, they're coming together slowly, and that's exactly the reason why we are doing this. Yes, like I said, again, please pardon me. I will use I. I always dream of putting people together. Always, yes. I always dream, and and this this confederation, the World Filipino Martial Arts Confederation, is again another dream that we wanted to put put together people and different organizations so that we can lessen the fragments or the divisions inside FMA. Yes, we are now a growing martial art. Yes, because I mentioned last time when I was talking to yeah, to Paulo Rubio. Yes, I mentioned to him that the Filipino martial arts will become the martial arts of the world slowly. Yes, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's going up, going up.
Definitely for the 21st century. And for those,
It
just to interject, because some people don't know Paulo, right? So I got to interject this.
ah,
If you follow probably the biggest tactical channel on YouTube is Paulo's Funker Tactical. So also
hmm,
Aperture Fight Focus. And then for the humorous ones, he's also GM Pogi. That's why you never see Paulo and GM Pogi in the same place at the same time. He's like a kind of Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus situation.
mm, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, GM
go
Pogi.
ahead. Yeah, GM Pogi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GM Pogi. Yeah, yeah. So this is exactly why I said before when I was asked, is the development of FMA outside of the Philippines faster than the development inside the Philippines? Okay? Straightly I said, not really. Yes. Uh, the
You said
reason
the West
why
is noisy. You said the West is
yes,
noisy.
yes, voice is noisy. It's a term. It's a term for there's some sort of a marketing term in our side, in our parlance. It's a marketing term that uh, there is activity. Yes,
Yeah.
there is so many activities. So there is noise. There is noise.
You didn't
There are
what
seminars.
you didn't meant that they were braggadocio or a braggart. What you meant is there's a lot of activity because maingay means like noisy in farmland,
Yes,
right? Right.
yes, yes. So because there are seminars, there are festivals, and so on. You see, uh, the internet in the West is, the influence is very strong, and so on. So uh, I use the word noisy, and I would like to apologize on that. There must be some misconception of what I mean there, but it's in our parlance, in our marketing parlance, we call it uh, yeah, something like that. There is activity. Yes, a strong activity, or a lot of activities. Yes, that means let's create noise. We always do that. Let's create noise. In short, let them know and let them aware that there is. So you have to make noise. So I would like to apologize again to people if they misunderstood my word. But again, please join me for the noise. Please let us all be noisy, because you know why? Few weeks ago, there is this video mm, that was doing it's another Asian martial art doing padded stick competition. Yes, yeah, and there was some sort of a concern, and it's in the guise of inside wushu. You see, it's inside wushu, and they said, oh, it's copying. I said, everybody can copy. Actually, we should be proud. I said, in my mind, I'm not promoting it. I'm not endorsing it. But in my mind, I said, we should be proud, because if they imitate you, that means you're doing good. Hmm? You see,
That's
if
all it means.
if yes, that's what I mean. So if they start imitating you,
You're doing something right.
uh, yes. Number two, that is the best time for you to start to improve more. You have to improve more because you're being imitated. Yes. So you cannot stay stagnant, because if not, they will overtake and they become better than you are. Yes. And that is what is happening now in FMA. Yes. We have to improve. Improve from where? Improve, number one is improve our organization. Yes. Organizations means, what do we need in organization? Inter-organization interactions, and so on. Yes. Let us all cooperate. Yes. We have to cooperate with each other, because after all, no matter what we do, there is only one FMA, only one. Yes, only one FMA. Because
We
if
are
you read FMA, yes, it's
yeah, if you
Filipino martial art.
yeah.
It's Filipino martial art. It's only one, nothing else. And under it are multiple styles under FMA. Yes, a lot of names, lot of styles. So no
We
matter
are
what we do,
we are closing on almost 2 hours. We're at like
oh yeah,
an hour 43
oh
something. So I want to address because I got some final questions, and this is coming from Antukin ako. I am narcoleptic, which is
ah
Paul Rosales.
yeah.
Um, what do I or we need to do to be an integral part of this? I'm guessing the WFMAC is his question. Um,
Oh
because
yes,
he's asking about because they run garage karate and garaje. So there's
yes,
five of them,
yes,
and
yes.
I guess I mean I try to be included in that now. So technically there's six of us. We're gonna
Yes.
try to get Tuhon Arlene in there too, I guess.
Well, number one, I forgot to mention. This is not an exclusive organization. The purpose actually is to bring people together in one roof. So again, using the most abused word, unite people, bring them together, and so on. Excuse me. Um, we are now in the stage of drafting the policy. Yes, and one of the policies is the membership, on how we can bring in people. And inside, in a nutshell, inside of the policy is regular members and associate members. Yes. So who are the regular members? So we have this definition of who are the regular members, blah 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 blah. See, who are associate members, blah 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 blah, and so on. See, so we are trying to fix it at the moment, and we are still in that stage of because the activities, while we are organizing it, fixing the internal management policy and the external policies and so on, we are already also organizing activities. So everything is coming in one takeoff. See, but we already divided the work. This one you do this one you do this one you do this. So these are all organized properly, and we have to take this off all together. And again, this is not an exclusive organization. This is an organization. Everybody has the privilege to participate. Yes, the privilege to participate. And as soon as it is done, we will start to we will announce that we will be very pleased to welcome everyone to join, and this will become it will be a collegial body that will manage this. Yes, so everybody is a voice inside. So democratic martial art.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's democratic martial art.
Do you have
Martial
any?
law, but
It's not a
yeah,
dictatorship. It's not a dictatorship.
yes, yes,
Do you
it's democratic martial art
do you
inside.
have do you have any shout outs, GM,
Oh
or any of
well,
the topics you want to talk about?
well,
You
number
have any
one
shout
is I
outs?
would like to credit the FMA discussion
Oh,
for
thank you.
doing this.
Credit
Uh,
Dean.
yes, of course,
Dean.
yes. The main consul, yeah, the main consul. Yes, I call him the consul, the main consul. Uh,
Yeah, he's
you are
also.
you are a consul, and so on, consul of FMA.
More like his
So
consigliere. Yeah.
yeah, so
Uh,
yeah, I would like to credit the FMA discussion.
any other shout
They're
outs?
doing.
Any other shout outs
Uh,
besides this?
uh, oh well, and not so much, because if I mention one, I have to mention everybody. Yes, yes. Except, of course, I would like to greet you again. A happy birthday.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So it's a shout out for Julius, and I am sending you e-coffee, huh? E-coffee. So by internet. It's my gift to you for your birthday. And again, before we close, uh, the Abanico Tres Puntas Classical Arnis International Federation is also headed by me as the caretaker, and our also the same. The aim is to preserve the preservation of the Filipino martial arts traditional system under the Abanico Tres Puntas. So yeah, that's one. And number two, we also aim to put together all these practitioners worldwide. So in short, today the Abanico Tres Puntas is also in 32 countries, a network in 32 countries. We are in Latin America. We are in the Middle East. We are in some parts of the U.S. and we are in Europe, in Eastern, Central, and Scandinavian area, and we are in the Philippines. Yes, we are in the Philippines. So uh, we would like to cooperate with everybody, and we are open for some sort of inter-organization relationship and so on. Okay? So in short, we are not an exclusive organization. Yes, and I would like to emphasize again that we are promoting Filipino martial arts. Yes, and we would like to create and build bridges throughout the world. So we build bridges so that there is the so-called interaction, cooperation, and we can exchange ideas. We are open into that. Yes. So that is our very purpose. And finally, uh, we are now on the 15th or 16th year of our long-term plan. Yes, and we are almost done, and we are not coming up as a model, but we can be a reference that if you want to ask me, you can just send me a message. We can help you on maybe on in a small way of how we do it. Of course, you have your own. Yes, but you see, references will always help. Yes, we,
Yes,
we
sir.
can repair, we can ask because it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yes,
Always
you're
remember that it's
so
free.
gracious, so gracious of you. The final
Yes.
close that I will say again, thank you for GM Bobby. I admire
Okay.
that guy so much. And
Oh
then
yes.
I wanna address Doy and also Montini. I am
Mm,
working on
yeah.
creating a jingle to start off our episode so that we kind of have like
Mm,
a Joe Rogan podcast, some kind of or
mm,
like Oprah kind of like opening music thing because
mm.
how can we call it FMA discussion without there being some kind of music at least in the beginning, even if it's just a few seconds or whatnot. Thank you for giving
Just
me
like
your music works. So
yeah, just like
and
just like we say in a Balikot Puntas, just like dancing.
just like dancing.
Just like dancing. So you need music. And Manong Tini is a very good musician. Manong Tini. He's not just an escribador. He's a musiquero.
Yeah.
He's
Flamenco.
very good
Yeah.
in the guitar. Yes. Manong Bobby Tabuada and Manong Nicky
Piano.
Lizar, wow. When they sing together, uh, how do you call this? It's fun time. Yes, it's fun time. They love to sing, especially when there is a battle of San Miguel beer. Yes, cold San Miguel beer. They will start singing. Yes, and these people, I admire them. I admire them. They
When this
they
uploads right away, I have to send this episode immediately to Mount Romy. I
mm,
don't want to bother him
yes,
too much, but
yes. Oh, Manong Romy is a very nice friend also. Yes, Manong Romy Makapagal is very nice fellow. Uh, I cannot mention all. I cannot mention all. We have so
our,
many
our episode
good
won't
friends here.
end.
Oh, yeah, and we had been talking for 2 hours, and people already sleeping, and someone went to work already, and we're
Yeah,
still talking here. Yes, and I
I
hope,
have to go.
and I
I have to
hope.
go to work myself in about an hour.
Oh yeah, yeah, and this is 11, 11 o'clock in Philippines. Yeah, it's 7 minutes to 11. So this is I'm going to start my work also because this is the time when I start to communicate with people in outside of the Philippines again.
Take care. Take care, GM.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you again, Dean. Thank you very much. Please continue your work. You are doing a great job for FMA. If I have only my way of sending you an award now, I will send you one. But
Yeah, he needs
thank you.
an award. He needs an award.
Yes, yes.
He needs an award.
My best way of giving you this award is to recognize you now as how do you call this the head consul. Yes. Thank you very much, Dean. You're doing a great job for FMA. Yes. Maraming salamat, everybody. Those who are bearing with us for this 2 hour talking. Yes. But
Take care,
I'm
GM.
Yes. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. Salamat po. Thank you, Julius. Yeah.